So the second game we got for this episode is Blue Moon City.
Designed by Reiner, Knizia. Its artist is Darren Bader, Scott Fisher, Lars Grant West, Todd Lockwood, plus 4 more. And it was published by, this is CMON, right?
This is actually Cosmos. CMON's the next game.
Yep.
Sorry, I said Cosmos, but I meant Fantasy Flight, and they licensed, I think, Blue Moon.
I'm getting my videos mixed up that I watched before I came over.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, so Blue Moon City is, I don't know story-wise. I'm just going to, from what I understand, it's like a sequel to the collectible card game Blue Moon, in which the city's destroyed and you're basically rebuilding it.
Mm-hmm.
Rebuilding it. The game is pretty simple. You're trying to collect cards that match like the same colors as the actual cities. Each city will have like 1, 2, or 3 of these little squares on it that will tell you in a color. So it might be black.
Buildings.
Buildings, whatever. The building tiles on the table will have, little squares that you have to spin cards to put your cube on it.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to, put your cube on a 5 black, you have to spend 5 points worth of black cards in order to put a cube on it. You can make as many buildings as you want. But the reason you're doing this is because it has like completion bonuses and participation bonuses, I guess.
Right.
And you're going to get these crystals. The main part of the game is off to the left or right or wherever you put it.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle. No. There's a board off to the side. You got to go back to the middle to do this, but the board off to the side will have like this. It's like an obelisk or something, and it has all these different spots.
That's in the middle.
Not
the middle of the board is a courtyard. Oh, okay, gotcha. You go to the courtyard, which is in the middle of the table, which is where you build the obelisk.
Yeah, the obelisk tile is actually off to the side.
Yes.
The whole point is, depending on the number of players, you got to build so much of this obelisk to win. And I think it's like 4 players. You got to put 4 tokens down, and then it goes, more. I think it's like 3 players. You need to put 5, and 2 players. You got to put 6. I may have messed it up, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's a number.
Yeah, so this obelisk has a requirement. There's like some spaces for 7, so you only have to spend 7 crystals, but it is a first come, first serve. So if you're not there quick enough, people are going to use up all 4 of those 7s, and now you got to spend 8. And then there's 9s and 10s and 11s, and there's a 12. And so like the longer you wait, the more it's going to cost you in order to get one of these requirements to win. Now, the way you get those, though, is on your turn, you build this map, first off, and like Eric said, that obelisk is essentially the center tile. And then you're going to build tiles all around it. And picture it kind of like a 5x5 grid, but there's no tile in the corners.
Right.
And on your turn, you can move 1 or 2 spaces orthogonally. Orthogonally, sorry. And once you do this, then you can play cards from your hand to try to rebuild that building. So all the buildings have one color. There's some that are just like wilds or whatever.
Yeah.
But if it's a black building, all its spaces require black cards. And those cards they have awesome artwork on them, but essentially it's just a number. And then sometimes a special ability, but you only use one or the other. You're only going to use it as a number or the special ability. And when you place a cube down, there are also these 3 dragons that are around the map, and you're going to use special abilities to possibly move those dragons onto the space you're on. Because if you build while there's a dragon there, you get these dragon scales. And just to kind of sum all this up, basically, when a building is completed, the tile will flip face down. Whoever contributed to it will get a contribution bonus that's on the tile. And then whoever has the most contributions to it, say there's like a 3 tile or a tile with 3 spots for buildings, little squares or whatever. If you have 2 of those 3, then you're going to get the bonus. But on top of that, as buildings go face down, they actually have like a completion bonus that they grant to adjacent tiles. So when you start completing the city, you kind of want to complete it next to other ones that have already been completed, so you get better bonuses. So you're going to get a ton of stuff. But you're going to get cards that you're obviously going to use in the ways I just described. You're going to get crystals that you're going to use to build the obelisk, but you have to go back to the middle to do so. And you're going to get dragon scales. Basically, depending on the number of players, you're going to build a pool of these. And once they're all divvied out, they score and then go back into the bucket. So kind of like if you ever played Bang the Dice game.
The dragon scales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bang the Dice game, you collect the arrows. When all the arrows are given out, everyone takes damage, and then all the arrows go back. It's kind of similar. Basically, whoever has the most dragon scales will get 6 crystals. Whoever has like
three or more.
3 or more dragon scales will get 3 crystals. And if you have 2 or 1 dragon scale, you don't get any, but you keep your dragon scales. And everybody else who got crystals will have to put their dragon scales back. And so the only other thing that I would talk about is maybe the special abilities. On these cards, there's special abilities like you can play one, it'll allow you to move extra spaces, or maybe there's another one that will allow you to move to any space on the board. There's one for each of the dragons, which will allow you to move them either 3 spaces or summon them to your location, depending on the card. There's some that will allow you to like spin so many of the same card as a wilds for a different color, stuff like that. So we don't have to go over all of them, but you get the general idea of this. So anyway, Matt.
Yes. And real quick, the reason I said CMON is because they are reprinting this.
Are they really?
Okay.
Eric, you need to get rid of yours as fast as possible.
Because I did,
right.
the video I watched was Z Garcia at the CMON Expo when they were going over this. And so that's why I said CMON. So
This is great news because Eric wasn't sure about this, right?
It'll be out towards the end of this year.
All right, Eric.
Really?
Right now it's on Amazon for $180.
Get rid of it, Eric.
It is
Sell.
I mean, I guess it's in the marketplace for like 50, but still.
Yeah. So I'm not sure actually on if you miss this last part too. At the end of your turn, you discard as many cards as you want. You get 2 cards plus whatever you discarded.
That's fair.
That's actually a point I wrote down. I thought that was really cool. Is there a hand size?
I don't believe there is a. Or they might be. I don't remember
if there
that.
was, you spend cards so fast that I can't imagine getting to that.
Right. I just thought that was neat because a lot of times it's always like the exact amount you give.
Right.
You know, in a discard, that's how many you get back. So I just thought it was neat. You get extra.
Yeah.
As far as the gameplay, I think it's something I would actually have to sit down and play to kind of really get what's going on. I mean, I get you're getting cards, you're paying to try and contribute. I like the fact that it's got like the little like, let me sneak around here and let me mooch on this real quick. You're about you're about to complete this. Let me throw a little contribution on it so I can get a bonus real fast.
Yeah, it definitely has a lot of that.
So I mean, it seems fun in that sense. Like I said, I think I would have to actually sit down and play it to really get a grasp on what's going on, because I think the special abilities seem like they're pretty involved in the gameplay.
The ability of the cards.
Yeah.
I mean, you're definitely going to use quite a few of them. You know, you'll get those dragons because you want more scales. You'll have chances to move around additionally by doing some. Using different cards, kind of, you want to hit something that's you need black cards, but you have this that lets you turn any card into, one of your choice.
Right.
So you use quite a few of the different card effects. So
yeah, I would say you use them quite a bit actually, and that would be the only thing I had slightly negative about a 2-player game is that the dragons, like you're using those things all the time. I mean, obviously it's a luck of the draw somewhat, but you like the dragons, just getting them all into one space and like grabbing as many scales. Like I'm looking forward to playing this with like 3 and 4 players.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We played it 2. I think it opens up a little bit more. Possibly 3 or 4.
Only because of the dragon scales. I think like in a 2-player game, the dragon scale is the winning player. Like whoever just constantly gets dragon scales is probably advancing way quicker.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, I mean, I was pleasantly surprised by this.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty good.
There is a reason it's rated 7.1 with 7K ratings on Board Game Geek.
Yeah, it's still pretty simple, but there's enough meat on there and enough gameplay on there where you can play it with your family, but not feel like you're playing a real simple game.
Yeah, you'll have to try this one out. It was like even somebody takes the time on their turn and like does all kinds of stuff because they have a lot of cards and they resolve a lot of things and stuff flips down. It's back to your turn almost as soon as you're done.
Pretty quick.
Yeah. I mean, maybe in a 4-player game it wouldn't be as great. And I don't know, maybe 3 players might be a sweet spot. I wonder what they say on here. Let's see. Best with 3 or 4. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing with again, and especially with more players. And the fact that you say it's being reprinted, because I was like, man, Eric, do not get rid of this. But now, Eric, you should get rid of this.
And supposedly, just so you know, it is exact same gameplay. It's just new skin. They didn't change anything mechanically.
I wonder if
if
it's
they're
the same
going to
Blue
call.
Moon City or...
Yeah, it's exact same game.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll be called the same thing. So it's just they didn't try and like change anything about the gameplay.
That's good.
I've noticed them. They're trying to come out with more games that are out of print that did well, like
that's
Council
a smart
4,
move.
Blue Moon City. They've been doing it quite a few here just recently.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm Reiner Knizia makes some awesome games. I mean, they're very like mathy as far as like their design. So there's, it's interesting to see this one because it does have some theme to it. Whereas the other ones are kind of like, let's paste a theme onto his his design he makes. But yeah, this is fantastic, man. I'm super excited that it's getting reprinted now.
Yeah, and the board's modular, and I mean, our game at least felt really tight.
Oh yeah.
So I would imagine even at 3 and 4, if you like tight games where you're all there trying to battle it out for these last few crystals to get that last one to give you the because whoever gets the most contributions on the obelisk is the one that would win the game. So it usually comes down to one.
Yeah, and it was super close because after your turn, I would have had enough to turn in and win the game.
Yeah.
Like Eric surprised me, I think, with one thing. And I was like, he is like one step ahead of me.
That's right.
If I literally had one card that allowed me to teleport to the obelisk in the middle, I could have done it. But I had to walk back and I was like one step away. It's like, then Eric goes and finishes it. I'm like, no. So, I mean, I like games that are that tight though, where it's not one person's destroying the other player.
Kind of always feel like you're in it. So
yeah, and I do like what you're talking about because like on the way to where you're going, you're like, I'll drop a cube here, plop, and move on to where you have like maybe you're going to a red city, but you have like 2 black cards in your hand. You're like, oh, bam, get all those contributions. It's pretty cool. I liked it. Well, anyway, any final thoughts, Eric?
No, I liked it. So
Matt,
and it's getting reprinted.
Yeah. Is it after watching the video, are you looking forward to trying it out?
Yeah. Like I said, I was interested in watching the video, so it was just it just had a few aspects that was kind of hard to really keep up with, or I didn't think unless you play it,
got
and
a chance to play it, right?
Yeah. And actually, I'm surprised I never really paid attention to this game. Like I knew about Blue Moon City, I knew about Blue Moon. I just imagined everything was a card game, like a collectible card game. So I just shrugged this one off.
Blue Moon is a card game.
Yeah, Blue Moon, right? Blue Moon City is and there's another Blue Moon game that is 2 players as well. This is the only one of the 3 that is a 3 and 4 player game. Huh. So, anyway, that's Blue Moon City. Look for it soon, I guess, from Cool Mini. That rhymed. I'm just saying. Signed. Oh, okay, we're moving on.